Uzi Talking.
Okay, Dueling Banjos.
Amazing, Gary, mate. That's fantastic, that, mate.
Oh, cheers, mate. Yeah. How are you? Okay?
I'm great, mate. I'm
Yeah,
great.
good to see you again, Jeff.
Yeah, we look a bit heavier, don't we, on this
Yeah,
lockdown?
yeah, the lockdown thing, yeah. Put a bit of weight on because we're not gigging, are we? We're not carrying any equipment or doing anything, you know. So it's been, weird just sitting in the garden last year, you know, before with the first lockdown and just doing nothing, you know, for me because I'm always busy, as you know, like yourself. But hopefully, a couple of weeks' time, we're going to be okay now.
Spring's coming.
Spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung, yeah.
Yeah, so we
Gary,
get back to normality.
Oh, please. Well, anyway, look, because if you don't know Gary Uzi, Gary is a famous maestro guitarist and he's travelled the world, which we'll get on later on. But where did it all start, Gary?
Started when I was a kid, Jeff, because I come from a musical family, you know. And on both sides, on my mum's side and my dad's side, I had uncles who played guitar. So when I was about 5, which is about 20 years ago now, when I was about 5, my uncle Peter he'd always come in, you know, have house parties and stuff. My mum played the piano and accordion, but my dad used to just sing. He'd sing Slim Whitman songs and stuff like that. So I was always aware of music in the house all the time. And my uncle used to come round with a guitar, particularly at birthday parties or Christmas time, and he'd start playing, you know, they'd all be singing along. My mum would be jamming in the living room. Yeah. And we only lived in Mason Avenue, you know, in 2 up and 2 down, in the north end of Birkenhead there. And my dad bought me a little guitar for Christmas, and it was a 3/4 size little, well, if you like, a little battered acoustic, you know. Okay. Probably bought it in the Bitston, you know, because he didn't have a lot of money, my dad and my mum. And so then my uncle showed me the first few chords, and it was my uncle Peter Murphy on my dad's side.
Okay.
And he showed me these 3 chords. He showed me D, as you know yourself, first, G, the easy G,
The easy G,
and the A, and the D. And then I was away once I'd learned that. Then days you didn't have guitar tuners or built-in guitar tuners, you know. So he got this thing called a pitch pipe for me.
Okay.
So you blew the pipe and you tuned the string to the pipe, you know. And then it went from there. And then by the time I was at school, I was about a year after in Holy Cross School. I was playing at the school assembly for the kids, you know, Silent Night and all the things, stuff like that.
That's amazing. So so what age was it? Was it 4 or 5? Was it?
Well, I was 5 then, yeah.
5,
And obviously, you know, when I went to my school, the music teacher was made up with me sort of.
Developed, you know.
And then, of course, you get a little bit of, you know, it was tough growing up in the North End then, because everything was about football, really. Football and boxing, you know. And my dad used to help train Les McAteer, you know.
Okay.
He was the
McAteers, yeah.
yeah, with Campbell. He was his manager at the time. And we've been good connection with Gordon McAteer and Les McAteer all the way through, because my dad was good friends with him, you know. But them days, yeah, so music was a different thing for a kid when you know, a 5-year-old, 6-year-old. So when you went to Holy Cross, it was like, oh, here he is, you know, usually think he is Jimi Hendrix sort of thing. Well, I wasn't a Jimi Hendrix then. But, and then it sort of went in my favour then, because used to sort of like, the kids would join in with us, and I met Denny Bolton then, who was not with us now. He played keyboards, Denny Bolton, in Legs Akimbo. He sadly passed away, Denny, a couple of years ago. And we went right through school together, playing together and jamming, you know. And then that's how, when I got into my teens, that's when I started getting into a band and with our kid, because he picked up guitar by then, my brother Larry.
Larry, yeah.
Larry Murphy, yeah.
Larry Murphy.
And then we got in with Ricky McCabe Entertainments, which was the agency at the time. He was up and coming, he was doing well, you know. And he had his offices in the Liver buildings. I remember we went up there with my dad. We were sitting there overlooking the Mersey, you know. Yeah. And it was big time, yeah. And he said, I can get the boys, like, you know, cabaret clubs from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But it depends on your lad's schooling, you know. I was about 9 or 10 then, you see.
Wow, yeah.
So we got us a gig, which was a talent competition at the Hay Club in Norton.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
A fella called Joe Barnes used to run it, and he was also a friend of my dad's. And what happened was there was a big competition called the Stars of the North, and we entered the junior side of it, because there was 2 for the adults as well. And we entered the junior side of it, and we were up against about 20 different acts, and we won it, you know.
Wow. And
so we got billed then as the young stars of the North, everywhere we played. So it got us more work. So it was great. We were doing 3 gigs a week.
What's your play? What was your main? You know, what got you the?
Yeah, the songs. Them days. Well, what was out at the time then was a lot of Johnny Cash stuff. Okay. You know, I mean, I was only. It was quite funny. Because I had a dead high voice, because my voice had improved. So you got a little kid going, and it's dead high. Yeah, I hear that train coming. Like Alan Jones, you know. And then, of course, the Shadows. My dad always had the Shadows on in the house. Oh, yeah. So the likes of, all that stuff, Apache and Wonderful Land, you know, all stuff like that. And then my brother had a good voice, Larry, he still has actually. He doesn't play anymore because he's sort of retired now. He says, I've hung me plectrum up, I've had enough now. So.
His fingers are down to the bone, probably.
Yeah. And then I remember when we were teens, Slade, and that we were getting into Slade.
Yeah.
And he'd sing stuff like Goodbye to Jane when they released that, and you know, and then we got into a band called Casino. You might remember that.
Yeah, Casino, advertised, yeah.
Yeah, and the singer with us was called Peter Cummins, but he changed his name later on. He went solo as Peter Casino, and Peter had a wonderful voice. He was brilliant, but we lost him a few years ago with cancer, and he was like another brother to us. Okay. But with that band, we were together I'd say about 18 years, and we went all over the country.
Wow.
with the same agents.
What gigs did you go? Like, was actually casinos?
Some big ones,
stuff,
yeah. I mean, we were asked to be Chubby Brown's backing band, which we did.
Seriously, yes, you backed Chubby Brown, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
All over the northeast, and we did a tour with him one particular time for two weeks, and it was funny. It was really good. And do you know what? He's a gentleman because he doesn't even swear off stage. It's all an act.
Yeah.
A lovely man, and you could introduce him to the Queen, and he wouldn't be out of place. Honestly, he was. It took us a while actually to get our heads around that because we were young lads, you know.
Yeah.
We were all coming up with the dirty jokes and the funny. Chubby, have you heard this one? You know. And he'd always say, "Just call me Roy. It's my name, Chubby."
Yeah.
But we would call him Chubby at
Oh,
first.
yeah. That's how close you got to him.
Yeah, that's how close we got to him. And he said, "Just call me Roy, lads," and we'd be in the bar. And we'd be telling him all these gags, and he'd go, "Yeah, I've heard that one," but he wouldn't say it. He wouldn't swear. Oh, I've heard that one.
Yeah.
You know, "Oh, I haven't heard that one. I'll put that one in." You know, he was great. Yeah.
You know, the thing with Chubby, that was my mum's favourite. You know, she used to go and watch it with all the bingo girls.
Yeah.
I thought, I listened to one tape one time, I was thinking, this is funky, like, you know, my mum. Just a break and that sort of humour, you know, in that way. And so from Chubby Brown, so
we did a lot with that band, Jeff.
Yeah.
You know, but then modern technology came in, and you know, bands were using backing tracks. When I say bands, bands were breaking up because you get more money if there was just a bass player and the guitarist, and you had a drummer, you know, on track.
Yeah.
So sadly, the live scene. I mean, we played a lot. We won top comedy band because we went into the comedy thing as Casino. And we won that in 1985. We actually beat the Black Abbots for the award. It was the Variety Club of Great Britain. We beat the Black Abbots, the Grumblebeats that year, and a great band called Black Onyx. And there was other comedy bands, but Casino got the award in 1985. But then after that, you know, this new technology was coming in. Peter decided to go on his own singing because he had a marvellous voice. He was a great frontman. And myself and Larry, my brother, we said, well, we'll go as a duo. And we were getting the same work but double the money.
Okay, what was you called?
Well, we had a couple of names. We at first we just went out as Gary and Larry because you know,
Gary and Larry,
like Tom and Jerry, you know. And then the Blues Brothers had come out, the movie. So our kid said to me, he said, "That's what we call ourselves." He said, "The Blues Brothers." I went, "Nah, the Booze Brothers." It's going to be quirky, isn't it? So we call ourselves the Booze Brothers, and we went to Belgium and everything. We played out in Belgium, toured Belgium, played all the clubs and all the bars and everything. And at that time, you see, I was getting more into the recording side of it because I'd worked with Billy Kingsley from Liverpool Express doing session work, as well as obviously being in the duo. And then my brother got a pub. He said he met his partner for life, who he's still with, Karen, and they got a pub called the Stork Hotel in Price Street.
Okay.
And they done really well there. They were there for 26 years, I think.
Yeah.
One of the longest serving publicans, you know, to have a bar for that long. So I was on my own then, obviously, and I got into the writing side of it. I started getting session work through the likes of Billy Kingsley from Liverpool Express.
Okay.
And also he'd worked in the Mersey Beach years ago. Okay. So I started getting all these little things, "Gary, when you do this, you know, will you do that for me, do that session?" And then in them days you could get some money out of doing sessions.
So you're like a session guitarist going to like recording studios, yeah?
I was going to recording studios, you know, even down south doing stuff. Nowadays everybody's got a recording studio in the house, and a lot of the lads do it themselves from home. But them days, you know, you'd have to go to a studio to record properly. So I was getting a lot of work.
Which studios, like Parr Street, was that going on?
Yeah, Parr Street. Well, at the time it was Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazon was the main one in Kirby, in Liverpool. And I'd go down to the Townhouse, London, places like that. And it was great because I was getting in the swim, you know. And then I thought, oh, I'd start writing myself, you know. I'd start writing songs. And I wrote an album called Here Comes the Rain.
Would you like to play one, or have you got an acoustic, or not singer, or maybe?
Yeah, I'd need the band.
I'll tell you what though, I'll put it on the spot because
I'll give you the copy of that so you can play it.
Yeah,
yeah.
That'll be down, the link's down below.
Well, that was 1998 when I done that,
yeah.
that album, and I went back out to Belgium on my own, took a band with me, as Gary Murphy band, and it done really well for me over there.
The Gary Murphy band. Yeah. So Gary, I mean, can you play it by ear, or do you listen to like a song on it, or do you need like a chords, or can you pick songs out? You know, if you got that talent?
I can play by ear, like say, yeah. You know, say you were doing one of your songs. Yeah. I can basically know where the chord pattern's going to go and play by ear. You know, I can tune by ear as well. I don't need a tune over the years. Just, you know.
That comes with the practice, yeah.
Yeah.
So obviously with your voice not being too good today, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to hear a classical piece for us, if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Classical.
Yeah, I mean, I'd sing for you, but I mean, it's a little bit early, so. Okay, I'll do a classical piece. Okay, yeah. I'll do a bit of Mason Williams. Okay, this is called Classical Gas, and this was it. I think it was 1973. This was out this year.
Yeah.
So it goes something like this. Very classical
it's amazing
stuff.
Absolutely amazing. You know, I'm just mesmerised. So, stop by for part 2. And we go into depth about Gary's life story. Take care.